Day number 14 of New Orleans Saints training camp is complete here on the floor of the Caesars Superdome. That's Erin Summers. I am Todd Graffagnini. And the Saints being in the Dome for the first time means that preseason games are close. Of course, we're going to have our first one on Sunday against the Kansas City Chiefs. Much more on that. But again, the Saints were in the Dome for the first time as a team.
When that ball snapped, it felt like I was in the Dome playing a game, and except not everybody was mad at me, And so, it was a lot of fun, being able to, we did I think really one team just move the ball period, and that was cool to just get in and out of the huddle, call plays, and it felt like game-like, through the headset, all that kind of stuff, and it was awesome. It's fun to throw in there. The ball spins off pretty nice.
Look, it was good to get over here to the Dome and get a practice in the Dome. Landon Young went down at the end of practice there. Looks like it's an MCL sprain, but we'll obviously have to go through some evaluations to see exactly the significance of that. But that was the only injury of note today with practice. We did have three guys, Jimmy and Ram and Mike Thomas were all vet rest days, so that's where we're at.
A new addition to practice was linebacker Jalen Smith. He was signed on Thursday. Head coach Dennis Allen really excited about getting another linebacker in here to compete for that spot behind Demario Davis and Pete Werner. Smith most recently with the New York Giants. He is a former Pro Bowler, drafted in 2016 to the Dallas Cowboys. Here's DA.
Pretty good for us, moved around really well. He's been a productive player in our league at an off-the-ball position, so we felt like he was somebody we'd like to bring into the mix, have him come in and compete and see where we're at.
All right, Erin, let's talk about the practice itself. I don't think we're overstating anything because Chris Olave, we've been talking about him each and every day, and he just continues to impress.
If we had an offensive MVP at this point in camp, it would be wide receiver Chris Olave. He has been phenomenal. Caught a huge touchdown today, 44-yarder from Derek Carr in their 2-minute drills. They were working end of game, down 7, limited timeouts, and they got the points out of it. Here's Derek Carr on that connection.
So today he ran a route, and it was supposed to be a high angle on it, and he took that angle, and of course the honey man, as I call him, he saw it coming, and he was trying to go pick it off, and I knew where I wanted Chris to go, and he started to do it before I even thought about it, and it was like, for him to get that in year 2, on really a new route, was really impressive to me because he came back to the ball. We were able to get a big explosive out of it. And that kind of stuff right there, obviously you guys see the speed, you see the routes, you guys can see the catches that he's been making. But something little like that would be hard if you weren't in our playbook, right? And what he did on that was really unbelievable.
If Olave is the number 1 MVP, you can make an argument that tight end Juwan Johnson is right behind him. He has had a phenomenal camp, and other tight ends are noticing.
Juwan's a special cat, and I've played with a couple of guys like him. A lot of guys say that they lead by example, but they're quick to say it, right? Juwan never has to say it. He's a calming presence. He's got a steady heartbeat. He knows what to do, where to be, how to be there, and he gets there really fast. That can't be understated. He is a quick player, mentally and physically. Obviously, it's a lot easier to see than it is to, know. But just he's special. He knows what everyone's supposed to be doing at all times. And you got to love playing with guys like that. He makes everyone around him better.
Well, Erin, as we switch sides of the football and talk defense, I don't think it could be argued by anybody who's been out here every single day and seen every practice. It's Marshon Lattimore in the defensive backfield.
Lattimore has come out with a little bit different fire this training camp. He is completely locked in, focused. There's not a day that goes by that he doesn't cause a pass breakup. He has definitely been somebody to take notice of.
He's played at an elite level for us for a long time. But he's playing extremely well. It's probably the best that I've seen him play in a training camp environment for sure. Yeah, I think he's got a great mindset about him, and he's been outstanding.
Actually, Marshon had his first camp interception today to add to all the pass breakups that he's had. Also, Erin, in this final day before a Saints preseason game, we had our first little dust-up of camp between some O linemen and D linemen. Here's Dennis Allen on the aftermath.
It's the first one we've had, but it's not the first one that ever happens. And, you know, you hit on the same guy day in, day out, day in, day out. You know, eventually tempers kind of flare a little bit. And we had a little dust up, and we got it handled, and then we go back to practice.
Got to see the final practice before the preseason game, but there was also a very interested bystander who attended practice today, a former Saints legend.
Rumors were that Drew Brees would be in the building, and he was today. Watched the second half of practice. He took some time talking to another former Saint, and Deuce McAllister. Cam Jordan caught up with him on the sideline, and he even was able to say hi to our new quarterback, Derek Carr. They traded some secrets about how training camp went for Brees.
I was literally just talking to Drew outside about, like, I was like, did they cheat on y'all's routes too when you were here? Like, they're out there, we're breaking the huddle and they're calling out like our play. I was like, how do y'all? We just ran the different play out of this formation, you know. But honestly, it makes practice so hard. Like I said, it's competitive, it's tough. The windows are tight because sometimes they may know what's coming or not. Maybe they just don't know. But you know, it is nice when you can just get into a game and you know they can't just read the mail and know what it is. And so you know, that doesn't necessarily mean, you know, it's a big game plan or anything like that for a preseason game, but it is nice knowing that, you know, hey, this is their looks, this is what we're going to do, and they can't read it before we run it.
Well, that's going to wrap it up. When we come back to this training camp report show on Saturday, we'll have our game preview as the Saints get set to take on the Kansas City Chiefs here in the Caesars Superdome, noon on Sunday. For Erin Summers, I'm Todd Graffagnini. We'll see you for the preview show on Saturday on Your View.